Good morning, everyone. It is going to be a beautiful day, it looks like. Oh, I'll take it back. Man, look at the dark clouds back here. It's a bit ominous. Blue over here, dark over here. But the sun's coming up over here, so this is all illuminated at the top with the sunshine. Interesting two sides going on here. It rained again. I planted a whole bunch more goodies yesterday, but we'll see if it comes up. I have some seeds that, yeah, most of them are duds, and sadly they came out of a survival kit that you can buy, the food that lasts for 20 years, sealed for 20 years. And all that, and I didn't buy it. I wouldn't do stuff like that. But there were some seeds in there, and I thought, man, seeds don't last for 20 years. You can't tell me that, even sealed like that. So I don't know how old these seeds were, so I took them out and just tried them out, and sure enough, 9 out of 10 seeds is a dud. Yes. Okay. So, but there were quite a bit of seeds, so I just put them all out, and hopefully I'll get something. And I planted it all early enough. If it doesn't come up, I've got the good seeds. Yes. And yeah, I know. Why not just put the good seeds out? No, I don't want to waste the other stuff either. Ah, right? Yes. I have to try it. Want to give it. I want to give the seeds a chance. Okay, all right. Dear me, it's early morning. Oh, so I went and checked out what is all that unclean stuff. What has that meant? How do people, pick that up? And it's somebody came up again with something I have to say. Really, people think. Just think a little farther than that. Anything is unclean and has to be, all the rituals and stuff that goes with it. If something on you has become unclean, basically what it is going, okay, why can't people touch a corpse? Yeah, okay, it's considered unclean. The reason that person is considered unclean and you become unclean if you touch them, which again, it's like, don't you have to bury them people? How are you going to do that then, right? Well, okay, so you have the undertakers, right? How are the undertakers even today? Okay. I know that there are, okay, they weren't, and maybe in some countries they still are not looked at as people you want to shake hands with or this or that, or right? Yes? Okay. From what I've seen, am I like that? Surely not. Am I nuts? I'm not nuts like that. Okay? God Almighty, people do you a favor by taking care of your dead and the dead, the bodies. And what you want to persecute them over it? What do you want to do? Keep them in your house until they rot? The slime and this and that. What do you want to do? Or, as I said, so you don't want to do it yourself. Okay, all right. I guess people used to bury their own all the time. Right? Yes? Okay. All right. It's a little different now. But at that time, the reason for it is because the body wasn't whole anymore. Right? The spirit's gone. Yes? Okay. Now it's just... And I have to say, okay, so what's the big deal then? Poof. Anywho, and being unclean was the same thing. You were not whole. Say, if you had... same for the animal, some kind of a blemish, a disease, or, okay, I'm not even going to go all there. So, interesting on how they always brought up God, right? In the eyes of God, you have to be whole as a human being in order to, okay, what? Be a child of God, be worthy, be a human being. So, if you had anything that wasn't 100%, you weren't a human being anymore? Okay, just, where do people come up with this? Where did people come up with this all these thousands of years ago? Okay. Sheesh. Okay. Sheesh. I'm not getting it. Anyway, so there is that. And something came to my mind while I was reading the explanation, kind of. I'm going, yeah, I remember. How long ago now? About 80 years? 1940s? Somebody had the same idea. Create the perfect race. Yeah, the Aryan race. Yeah, remember that? You guys remember? Anybody know history? Oh, yeah. I'm reading them going, oh, yeah. Oh, One could get all kinds of ideas if you read the Bible just as it is. Right? Yes? Okay, again. Now people says, why are you reading the Bible if it's so offensive to you or this or that? No, again, I've explained that. What are people all doing still today, all doing out there when it comes to the name of God? How about restoring God's reputation while we can? Huh? That's all. Not. People have odd practices out there. Done. And they still do today. Right? Yes, and you're supposed to look at them and go, oh, they want me to conform to what? They want me to say what? They want me to accept what? Even though I'm looking and I'm going, but this isn't going to be good in the long run. This will not serve you in the long run. Right? Yes. I find it interesting too, and I'll mention this real quick because that's what came to that. Whoever's listening, that will come to your mind. That's not what I said. It seems like people out there now, with certain things we got going in the world, that one wants to correct others, right? Which is fine, okay? But you've got to first correct things within your own belief, within your own whatever practices you're under, this net. You've got to clean that up first. You've got to work for oh, you may be okay, but you know full well that many people out there aren't keeping the standard. And so that's first something that you work on before you start getting into other people's business per se, okay, that have a really different standard than you do, yet you feel in the same, always comes down to what? Sexual preferences, sexual practices, this snap. Right? As heterosexuals, we first got to clean up our own act before we go and tell anybody else to clean up theirs, unless it's a serious criminal offense. Right? Yes? Do you know what I mean? Okay, all right. So, why did I get into that? Well, because I did hear something this morning again. I had to say, you don't get to do that unless. Yeah. All right. Oh, looks like I better hurry up. Everybody's up. We are in Numbers 8. The lamps for the lampstand. Remember, once they had the party over from, and God spoke, according to what is written here, to Moses. The lamps for the lampstand. Yahweh spoke to Moses and said, speak to Aaron and say, when you set up the lamps, the 7 lamps must throw their light towards the front of the lampstand. I tried that. I mean, it was most likely dark in the tent of meeting. It doesn't sound like there was any light in there. There's no windows or anything. So, I guess you had to position it in a certain way. Aaron did this. He set up the lamps to the front of the lampstand as Yahweh had ordered Moses. This lampstand was worked in beaten gold, including its stem and its petals, which were also of beaten gold. This lampstand had been made according to the pattern Yahweh had shown to Moses. And that's it. That's all we're going to get from the lamps. Why did the shadow? Why did the lamp had to be? The light had to be in front of the. Doesn't say that, but we're all getting to know how valuable it was again. Give me something good in here I can go with that actually reflects God, the God I know. Yay. Reading this again, Numbers, okay, Exodus, even Genesis, parts of it, it's just, oh, this is why we're having the problems, right? Yeah, in the world. So many problems, really, when it comes down to it. People just off the rocker. The Levites are offered to Yahweh. Yahweh spoke to Moses and said, separate the Levites from the Israelites and purify them. Separate them. Interesting. This is how you must purify them. Ooh, see, now something else comes to my mind again. That would make sense. All right. You will sprinkle them with purifying water, and they will shave their bodies all over and wash their clothes. They shave their bodies all over and wash their clothes. See, don't go after people who shave everything. They're just purifying themselves, becoming part of God. That's right in here. Interesting. They will then be clean. Again, so why would God require the shaving of all the hair, this and that? It's something that is natural. It's part of our makeup of the body, right? Yes. Why didn't God was happy when He was done with His creation? He was all happy about it. Now suddenly He doesn't like that, and in order to be clean and pure, you have to. Right? I'm just saying, that makes sense. All right, Daniel. They will then be clean. They will then take a young bull with the accompanying cereal offering of fine flour mixed with oil, and you will take a second young bull for a sacrifice for sin. You will then bring the Levites in front of the tent of meeting and assemble the whole community of Israelites. The ritual stuff they've got going all the time. Once you have brought the Levites before Yahweh, the Israelites will lay their hands on them. Aaron will then offer the Levites, making the gesture of offering before Yahweh on behalf of the Israelites, admitting them to Yahweh's service. All right, I can go with that. I think it is important, just like any other job that is important out there, that you have spiritual guidance, that people have spiritual guidance. Often we're too busy to, yes? So then having someone where you can go and say, okay, I need to talk about this. Yes? The interesting thing now is that spiritual guidance counselors, right, that seem to be that the Levites were, and also taking care of the meeting place of, right, somewhere where, okay, this is specifically, so let's keep this, at least this, clean, sanctified, okay. Interesting on how psychologists now have replaced spiritual guidance counselors as, I have no doubt the Levites in a way were for the people, right? Also to go, okay, I didn't quite get this ritual, so what do I have to do in case of this, and this, right? They could tell them, right? Yes? Okay. There is a benefit there, I think, a very valuable one. Of course, you have to, as a spiritual guidance counselor, you got it. It's probably, I would say, in order to not become a hypocrite, double standard, two-faced, you really, really have to commit to that type of life. Oh, so it's okay for the other people out there. Well, I would say, unless you're being forced into being a priest or a nun or something like that, you make that choice. And with that choice, do not come excuses to be made when then you fail. It's not okay. Yeah, so interestingly enough, on how, in a way, when I look at this and what the job of the Levites was, and how did he separated them? Well, they did have a different a specific function, right, within the Israelites. When I see that, I can see why. I can see God's desire to guide his people within, by guiding the Levites, and then the Levites leading the rest of the Israelites, right? Yes, yeah, I can see that. When it comes to spiritual natures, especially, and on how, no doubt, difficult that was. Yeah, well, and in today's world, now we have the separation where, okay, it's, gosh, I could talk all day long on this one. All right, so, but again, there were some practices that went with it, and to say, really, what for? Again, to have them stand out, or again, the importance of their position. Right? It was an important position that the Levites had. I don't know. Some take advantage of that and then think that they're more exalted. The reason why I'm bringing this up, I just watched a video this morning of someone that has passed away. Rest in peace. I know. And I couldn't finish listening to the speech because I knew the person's life. I knew what was going on in that life. And I thought, while I was listening, I said, were you sober when you talked to the people? Right? It was a bit disjointed. It was, did you just beat your wife at home? What else? The cussing and cursing this guy had going on. There were other things. Drugs. Other things I'm not going to mention here. And I'm looking, it's like, well, but he was talking about the divine, or divinity, this and that. Okay. I'm not sure. I think maybe with this, what we're reading today in Numbers 8 also, this not beware, are you really qualified to to teach in the spiritual, right? To give the essence of spiritual. Oh, the Word of God. Right? Yes? Anyway, one shouldn't be surprised that people just eventually walk away from it, say, how can I be a part of this? I see right through it all. Yes? But I have to say and I've had people here where, thank God I was able to rekindle their faith, right? Yes, say, hey, you're not wrong about what you're thinking. You're not wrong about what you're questioning. But don't question the existence of God. If then, again, what are we doing as well besides? Let's reestablish the reputation of God, the true God. Yes? All right. The Levites will then lay their hands on the heads of the bulls, one of which you will offer as a sacrifice for sin, and the other as a burnt offering to Yahweh, to perform the rite of expiation for the Levites. Having brought the Levites before Aaron and his sons, you will present them to Yahweh with the gesture of offering. Well, that's also the firstborn stuff here, right? I get that. That's probably part of it. That is how you will set the Levites apart from the Israelites, for them to be mine. The Levites will then begin their ministry in a tent of meeting. We have to remember always that in the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve came across something that separated them from God. Now, God is trying to make sure that, okay, the people that are under me, specifically giving that spiritual guidance, I've got to have them separated. They've got to be mine. I'm not sharing them, right, with Satan anymore. I don't want that. Because until then, that's why Cain and Abel, right? Cain, who was whose? Firstborn. Abel was whose? So here, God, this is the restoration of, okay? Yeah, God's not going to share his children with anyone. All right, so this is, I understand this. This part makes sense. I do get it, why some of the rituals I'm not getting, but it's like, you know, in the physical, you do certain things that then manifest in the spiritual, or that everyone can see. So everyone gets kind of an understanding on, oh, okay, right? The Levites will then begin their ministry in the tent of meeting. You will purify them and offer them with the gesture of offering. Because of the Israelites, they have been dedicated to me in place of all those who first emerge from the womb, instead of the firstborn. See, here we go. Of all the Israelites, I have taken them for my own. For all the firstborn of the Israelites, whether human or animal, do indeed belong to me. See, it is about ownership here. Over whom? Surely not over any human being. This is the struggle between God and the archangel Lucifer here. It's very sad. Gosh almighty. Even God had to deal with his own creations going against him. Ugh. This is why filial piety is important, people. The day I struck down all the firstborn in Egypt, I consecrated them to myself. And now, oh, that wasn't punishment then. Okay, well, not going to go there. And now in place of all the firstborn of the Israelites, I have taken the Levites. Of the Israelites, I give the Levites to Aaron and his sons, as dedicated men, to minister in the tent of meeting on behalf of the Israelites and perform the rite of expiation for them, so that no disaster befalls the Israelites when the Israelites come close to the sanctuary. Moses and Aaron and the whole community of Israelites dealt with the Levites exactly as Yahweh had ordered Moses concerning them. This is what the Israelites did with them. The Levites purified themselves and washed their clothes, and Aaron presented them with the gesture of offering before Yahweh. He then performed the rite of expiation for them to purify them. The Levites were then allowed to perform their ministry in the tent of meeting in the presence of Aaron and his sons, as Yahweh had ordered Moses concerning the Levites, so it was done with them. I think even to this day, to prepare, right? It's like, okay, you go to church, nicely dressed, this and that, or whatever. I think it's not about just showing off, oh, you've got nice clothes, this and that. Of course not, okay. It's not about, okay, well, does it matter? Well, I think it's more the effort that you make when you come in front of God. Right? Okay, well, God's everywhere here all the time. I don't have to go to church, this and that. So then, of course, as well, right? I present myself in a certain way as well, okay? All right. Again, in the physical, when you clean up, dress yourself nicely, and whatever nice things you got, okay, then you're making an effort, right? Yes, to come in the physical, right, nicely in front of God. As you keep doing that, right, you get cleansed spiritually as well. Yes? Then more and more, you're going to want to make an effort. Right? All right. Has that worked for everyone? I said, look, I can't speak for the pretenders out there. I'm talking about the people who really want to, right? Who are doing this with good faith in their heart, okay? I can't speak for the pretenders out there, all right? Just like the guy I just talked about, that I watched the video, looking at him going, you're just a pretender. I know too much about your love. I know too much. You're just a pretender. I don't really want to listen to you, even now after he's passed already for, I don't know how long, 15 years? Something. Anyway. It is what it is, right? Yes? Doesn't mean I don't go there. I've already done stuff for that one too. But So now it's all hunky-dory to say no. No. Because certain things still haven't been fixed. Okay, when it came to his life. Then you become clean on the inside, right? Yes? You're not that good-looking apple on the outside, but rotten on the inside. You start to become good on the inside as well. You grow spiritually. Your spirit body starts to grow. You start to notice different things. Right? Then, oh, does it matter that I'm sitting here reading out of the Bible, giving my little spiritual guidance in my robe, lighter robe, by the way. It's clean. It's clean. I love this robe. This robe has a lot of meaning to me. Right? It's gone through a lot of things with me in my life. Right? Yes? Yeah. And I brush my hair. That means something. All right. Let's keep going. So there is some meaning for me in this. Get close to the sanctuary, and if you don't do blah 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 blah. Again, were the Israelites so rebellious and so I want to do what I want to do? Oh, maybe after 400 years of slavery, and then suddenly you're free. You're going, man, just let me do. I'm here. But would you incur death? You see, I would have been one and said, I'm going to go in the middle of the night, and I'm going to go and sneak all around. As a kid, I would have done that. Sneak around everyone. I'm going to go and touch the tent. I'm going to see what happens. Guarantee you nothing would have happened. I'd have snuck back out, and then I would have been one of those children growing up going, they're lying. All right. The duration of their ministry. Yahweh spoke to Moses and said, don't lie to the people. This concerns the Levites. From the age of 25 onwards, the Levite will exercise his ministry and do duty in the tent of meeting. After the age of 50, he is no longer bound to the ministry. He will have no further duties, but he will still help his brothers to assure the services in the tent of meeting, though he himself will no longer have any ministry. That is how you will act as regards to ministry of the Levites. Oh, interesting. Wait a second. Did you guys just hear that? Now, if the Levites, why do I believe that one? Because that one makes sense. If the Levites knew, okay, I'm only going to be in service for 25 years, okay, then I have to have someone ready. Okay? Then you will also, instead of just, what is God trying to prevent here? We've already seen is kind of happening. Okay? Man, when you are in power long enough, you are going to lose sight of what is actually important. The Levites are supposed to work for God and for their common people. Mainly for their common people. Right? Yes? Okay. Interesting on how this is a good practice. You're not just, I'm going to be in the seat until the day I die, No, there's a limit. You have a limit on the time that you are a spiritual guidance counselor for the Israelites as a Levite. And then you better have someone, hopefully in your family, ready to take on your job. You raise them to take on their job. Your job. That job. Interesting. Or find someone who's willing. As I said, well, there it is. Right? We're all the Levites prepared to do that? I don't know. I have no idea. I wasn't there. But this is not a bad one here. Surely it took, sounds like it took a lot of stamina and physical endurance and this and that, right? To do all the stuff these priests had to do, right? Yes. Sounds like a lot of work. So, as well, they weren't just sitting around doing nothing or just talking like I do right now. So, interesting on how this last part, yep, actually I could see God trying to prevent from people taking control that shouldn't be in control anymore for one reason or another, right? But also the care of God. Okay, probably by that age, you're kind of done when it comes physically. You're going to have some problems. I want to take care. Age then should take care. That was 25 years of service. Now you need to be taken care of. The next generation will now. It's a good way. It's a good way to raise your next generation and this is when you take over. How often have people, okay, kings and queens and emperors, I can't really have to bring that up, fought for the throne. The kids fought for the throne, right? Literally waiting for the parents to die. Still happens today. Still happening today, guys. In some pretty incredible places. I would have never thought that would happen. But, okay. One could say, well, they're not waiting for... Yeah, you are. If I could bring up, go to a funeral. I'd say 8 out of 10 funerals end up, when everything's done, everybody cried enough, this, that, afterwards, it's about what? And most of the time, it doesn't end, without any fights. Everybody's in harm. Everybody's good with whatever. Yeah. Okay. I think I just made my point. Well, anyway. So, good one right there. Yes. Okay. Well, no. 8 wasn't too bad. Too bad. I think, from my experience, when I was younger, it takes 10 times to try and pray. 10 times to try and reach God. And out of the 10 times, you might get twice. You might. Maybe only 1 time. But I'd say at least 1 time out of 10. You will get an answer from God. You will get, yes, the epiphany, okay, the dream, the vision, the sudden realization because of an energy that suddenly flowed through your spirit body, that then you suddenly, right, from your heart to mind, you start to comprehend, yes, or you suddenly acknowledge, didn't even realize, but actually, my prayers were answered, just not quite in the way that I thought it was going to happen, but still, it was there. And I think this is the same here, right, while I'm reading the Old Testament. Right? Every so often I come across them going, yep, that's the God I know. Yep, they understood this part right. Or the direction that was given, I recognize as God's direction. You see? Yes? Okay. All right. Yeah. People usually pray for things they want fixed. Right? How about praying for God's direction? Yes? Okay. All right. People do what they want out there, right? I've never prayed for a car. Maybe that's why I always got a lemon. Okay. God's love and blessings always. May He protect you, and I will talk to you all another time.